breaking news right now. A semi-truck has fallen off the interstate in Louisville. We will show you some pictures. You can see the area that this happened. MetroSafe says the call came in around 10:14 this morning. I-65 South on Hospital Curve in downtown Louisville is where it happened. All lanes appear to be blocked right now. Now we know one vehicle was involved. That semi, which we could see from Trimark, was on fire. We saw heavy flames. We saw traffic still moving at one point before they blocked all of the lanes, and now traffic is stopped. We also know that this area should be avoided. So if you are traveling in this area, make sure you go to a different area and take a detour because traffic will be blocked for some time. There's a lot that we don't know just yet. We do not know about any injuries. We did see that semi-truck on fire at Hospital Curve. We also have crews headed to the scene right now to give us the latest information. But here is another camera. You can see some smoke, and fire crews are there at the scene as well. We're still trying to get more information about the semi-truck that just fell off of I-65. We also are waiting on more information from LMPD as well. Here's another camera at I-65 near I-64 and 71, and you can see on the left side of your screen the heavy smoke. You can see just semi-trucks stopped right now as emergency crews are still at the scene. We will continue to bring you the latest updates online and here on air. Again, another camera where you can see just the heavy smoke as we're trying to find out more information about what caused the semi. And we're going to take a look at this. This is heavy smoke that you can see in the area. There's just so many different angles because of the Trimark cameras that you can see that are all around the city. At one point, we saw heavy flames from a semi-truck that was dangling off of the overpass. We don't know what caused that crash, what happened, and we don't know if anyone was injured. We're still waiting for more information on that. We have a crew headed to the scene to give you information from the ground. Here are more cameras of different angles. You can just see the heavy smoke, and there's also just a lot of rain in the area. It's been off and on rain, which also makes it difficult too for fire crews and just seeing the different angles, because you can also see angles from drones, for example, but with the rain, we can't always put up the drones. This is Trimark cameras, and here's our tower cam as well. Just more heavy smoke. Again, we're still waiting for our crews to arrive to give you the latest updates on this semi-truck crash. A semi-truck fell off of the interstate in Louisville around 10:14 this morning. Happened on I-65 South at Hospital Curve in downtown Louisville. All lanes remain blocked, so if you're headed to this area, make sure that you take a detour and go another way, as police are still investigating exactly what happened. We do know right now that only one vehicle was involved. There's more smoke, and you can see just the area off of Hospital Curve of where this happened. Again, this is a semi-truck that was on fire that has now since fallen off of the interstate. We're hoping no one was injured, but we're still waiting on getting the latest information on if anyone was injured or not. Trimark cams continue to bring us just the different angles so you can see where this happened off of Hospital Curve. We're continuing to bring you the latest updates on this, and as soon as we get more information, we'll have this on air and online. Again, more angles of the area off of Hospital Curve where this semi-truck was dangling off of the interstate. Now you can see less smoke, but it's just a dreary day in downtown Louisville as a semi-truck has fallen off the interstate off of I-65 at Hospital Curve. The call came in around 10:14. If you're joining us just now, the call came in around 10:14 this morning at I-65 South and Hospital Curve in downtown Louisville. All lanes remain blocked as emergency crews are dealing with a semi-truck that has fallen off the interstate in Louisville. We're told that semi-truck has now fallen down. We do not know about any injuries. We're hopeful that everyone is okay. Trimark has several cameras across the city, which you can see different angles of that area. We saw heavy flames earlier this morning with that semi-truck on fire while it was dangling. Then that semi-truck has fallen off of the overpass, and then we saw a lot of smoke on this very dreary Friday. Marcus Green and Dalton Godby are across the river and can see what's happening. Let's talk with them about what they see.
We've got a great view of the situation from here on the Indiana side of the Ohio River. We are a couple stories up at the harbors in Jeffersonville. Marcus Green and I actually here reporting on a different story when we heard a loud noise, saw some smoke, and then saw a semi dangling off of the overpass there. Marcus, you can kind of take us through those couple of moments where we saw the cab teetering over the side of the interstate, something that we have seen a couple times here before in Louisville, and then all of a sudden we saw it drop.
It was around 10:15 or so. We were here, we heard, we noticed first something that jogged our eyes. We looked over on the Kentucky side, saw some smoke and some fire. You know, at times, Dalton, this fire was very high above the roadway. The black smoke was billowing very high above that area of Spaghetti Junction on the Kentucky side. As you can see, we got emergency vehicles continuing to come across the bridge. We have seen dozens of communities southbound on the bridge. This was around 10:15 when this all first started, and it was pretty evident from the beginning this was a very horrific situation.
Yeah.
About 5 or 6 minutes later, around 10:21, is when the truck fell off the overpass. We heard a very loud boom. We heard subsequently loud booms. We don't know if those were explosions or not, but I can tell you the sound of that from a mile across the river here in Jeffersonville was very loud.
It was loud, and photojournalist Emily Evans caught that moment on camera. We'll bring you that video as soon as we can, but to describe what it looked like when that happened, you saw the truck slowly begin to teeter off of the bridge. It falls, and then thick black smoke quickly went into the air after that. You saw flames rising up from the ground all the way as high as the interstate.
I would say from our vantage point, again, we're across the river, but those flames had to be 30 feet high. The black smoke had to be billowing hundreds of feet high. I mean, it was obvious. We've had incidents on the 2nd Street Bridge. We've had incidents on the Kennedy. But this was something like I've never seen. And we really hope and pray that no one was seriously injured. But from what we saw, this likely was a very horrific crash.
Yeah, very horrific, very dangerous. The flames, the smoke, what's happened in the aftermath. Again, we've saw dozens of first responders from police to fire to EMS and everything in between. From a traffic perspective, you can see on the Kennedy Bridge that this is going to be an issue for quite some time. Obviously, first responders trying to get through that mess to get to the scene, but they're off of the side of the Kennedy Bridge is where the scene is kind of unfolding right now. It will probably take hours until they're able to clear that up. So traffic going to be a concern for quite some time.
That's our Dalton Godby and Marcus Green giving us an update as they saw what was happening. They say they heard loud booms all the way in Jeffersonville. Then they saw thick black smoke. They saw the semi teetering off of the overpass. You could hear emergency crews close to where they are. It's so loud with all of the sirens because so many emergency crews are at the scene. Here is a social media post from the Louisville Fire Department saying happening now. LFD crews are on scene of a semi-truck fire on I-65 South, I-64 East. Be advised, we do know that traffic will take a while. The interstate is closed in all lanes. So please avoid that area as emergency crews are making sure everything is safe over there. We do not know what the condition is of the driver. You can also see more pictures from Trimark that we've been looking at all morning. You see the heavy smoke, the fire. That last picture is when that semi-truck went off of the overpass. Again, this is a huge scene off of I-65 at Hospital Curve as several emergency crews are dealing with a semi-truck that was on the overpass, that was teetering on the overpass, then fell down. We don't know the condition of the driver again. You can see all of the traffic that is backed up because all lanes are closed as emergency crews are trying to put that fire out. We saw lots of smoke, a lot of police and fire all attending to that scene. We're still getting in more information, but on the southern Indiana side where our crews are, they heard the loud booms and then saw that semi-truck on fire and then teetering off of that overpass and then falling. So we are waiting on getting more information from emergency crews. But if you're headed that way, headed to downtown Louisville, make sure you avoid that area. Find another route to get to your destination because traffic will be backed up. Here is a live look at traffic right now. You can see the huge backup on the Kennedy Bridge. It's going to take people a while to get to their destinations because of this semi-truck crash off of the interstate. Again, a live look at how traffic is right now. So if you're heading to this area, make sure you avoid it and find another way to detour. We're still getting more information, but again, if you're just joining us, the call came in around 10:14 this morning on I-65 South on Hospital Curve in downtown Louisville. All lanes remain blocked. Trimark has updated cameras up so you can see a look at traffic. You can see the scene as well. But it was really just a scary scene to see as people were driving by. This is what I'm talking about. The huge flames and the semi that was on the overpass, teetering on it, then falling, and then the huge smoke. And as fire crews were there just trying to put that fire out. And we still don't know what the condition of the driver is. We also don't know what caused this crash, what caused that semi to crash and then go off of the interstate. Just a huge scene happening, all unfolding around 10:14 this morning as we're getting more information. And we really hope that the driver is okay. We're still waiting on word as fire crews are there and continuing to post on social media about what is happening. Here's another look at all of the smoke. That's what we saw in the newsroom. And then the traffic backup, the flames, and it's just a horrifying scene. And as people were driving by wondering what's going on and seeing that semi-truck partially up in the air, then falling to the ground. We have crews in southern Indiana. We have crews closer to the scene too, just gathering information to give you the latest. And we'll make sure to bring that to you online and on air and on our apps. Our crews in southern Indiana say they heard loud booms all the way in Jeffersonville. Now this is happening in downtown Louisville, and they heard it in Jeffersonville. Then they saw the thick black smoke. They looked over and they saw that semi-truck that just crashed into the overpass and then was teetering on the overpass, then eventually falling in flames, and just there's so much black smoke. And then you see right here just all of the emergency crews that are just blocking traffic. All lanes remain blocked, so do not, if you need to come to downtown Louisville, make sure you have some alternate routes to get to this area. Samantha Condra is now out in downtown Louisville near where the crash happened. Samantha, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Val, we're here right next to 65 and we're seeing all the scenes unfold, but I'm going to step out of the way and just show what we can see right off of the Kennedy Bridge here. What we know now is just that emergency crews are on the scene of a fiery crash involving a semi-truck that burst into flames and then it eventually fell from I-65 in downtown Louisville. A MetroSafe supervisor did confirm a call about an accident came in about 10:14 a.m. this morning. and cameras show that the truck hanging off the interstate near Jefferson Street in flames. All the lanes are blocked off on I-65 right now until further notice. As you can see the traffic, you can see all the fire trucks and everything, everybody trying to respond to the scene. We are also near Witherspoon right now, just looking at this up from above and seeing all of the chaos from right off of the Kennedy Bridge. The Louisville Fire Department posted an image on social media of firefighters near the semi attacking flames underneath I-65 South near I-64. And obviously we will continue to keep you updated. Our information is limited at this time, but this is the scene as you can see right now. Again, we'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more on what led to this and what is going to come from now.
Samantha, thank you. You can see behind her, she was showing us just that charred area of the overpass. She's at Jefferson Street in Witherspoon, and you can see the charred semi that is now on the ground. The semi truck is near I-65. It burst into flames, then fell to the ground. She's gathering information on the ground. We have crews all over gathering the latest information to bring that to you. But this is what we saw first. We were in the newsroom. We saw the Trimark cameras that showed the semi, and then it was dangling, it burst into flames, and it crashed to the ground. We do not have an update yet on the driver. We are waiting for that information, but you can see just the flames and the heavy smoke as fire crews, police crews, everyone is getting to the scene to make sure the whole area is safe and tend to the driver, which we're still waiting to figure out that person's condition. Traffic, meantime, remains blocked. All lanes are closed on I-65. If you are headed to downtown Louisville, make sure you find a detour, another route, because this is going to take some time. We have not been given an estimate on how long these lanes will be closed. But in the meantime, emergency crews are there. Our last interview, or our last fire crews are cleaning the scene. You can take a look at, this is where Samantha was, at Witherspoon and Jefferson Streets. You see the fire truck, and behind it is that charred semi that fell right off of the overpass. You can see all of the charred overpass, and then you can see just where emergency crews are there. Originally, the trailer was on fire before it fell down, and emergency crews had the job of putting that fire out. That's when we saw the heavy smoke in the water, and of all of the hoses, they're trying to put the trailer out, but trailer fire out. But as you can see, the trailer is now on the ground, and you can see the path where it fell down from the overpass on I-64 and I-65. I-65 South remains closed. All lanes are blocked, and we don't have any idea yet of how long that interstate will remain closed as fire crews and police are still tending to the scene. Now let's take a look at some more video. This is what we originally saw, the flames off of the overpass. You can see the heavy smoke, the trailer that was billowing, the trailer that was hitting the overpass and went to the ground. Trimark now says the area will be closed for 3 to 4 hours. So make sure you have that information, and make sure that if you are going to downtown Louisville, you plan a different route, because this interstate will be closed for 3 to 4 hours as crews are still trying to clear up the scene. Crews are investigating, figuring out what happened, what caused the semi to crash, then to dangle over the overpass. It caught on fire and then fell to the ground, and emergency crews went to the scene trying to put the fire out, and we still are waiting on the latest condition of the driver. We are keeping on top of this. We're getting more information minute by minute. Right now, we know the interstate will be closed for 3 to 4 hours. Here's a look at the map of the closure, so you can see the red is the closure of where the semi truck crashed. and the amount of area that they need to investigate and clear up the scene. So if you are coming to downtown Louisville, take another route. The green shows where traffic is moving smoothly. The yellow is some slowed traffic, of course, closer to where traffic is closed. All lanes of I-65 South remain blocked as crews are clearing the scene. Here are the pictures, the images that first came into the newsroom of the semi-truck and its trailer crashing into the overpass and then catching on fire and then falling to the ground. The heavy smoke that could be seen all the way to southern Indiana. Our crews there heard some loud booms. They looked over. They're in Jeffersonville and they saw the thick black smoke. They saw the semi-truck teetering off of the overpass, then falling to the ground. We hope everyone is okay. We don't know how many people were in the semi-truck. We do not know the condition of the driver, and we have not heard about any injuries. And as soon as we get that information, we'll make sure to pass that information along to you. But again, these images of all of the flames and the smoke, people are just driving to work, people driving to their destinations and seeing this happen. Here's a live look at Jefferson Street in Witherspoon. You can see the charred overpass where this crash happened. You can see behind the fire truck, you can see the semi-truck trailer and the charred remains of it. So you can see the path where it fell down. It was teetering where the black char is. That's where that semi-truck was teetering off of the overpass. That's where we saw the huge flames. It caught on fire and then it eventually fell to the ground. It all started around 10:14 this morning. Those are the flames that we were seeing from the newsroom when we were looking at the different Trimark cameras, the huge smoke, and then the semi falling to the ground and emergency crews immediately going to the scene. Traffic remains backed up. All lanes of I-65 South are blocked. We're told it'll be blocked for 3 to 4 hours. It'll be closed that long as crews are still attending to the scene, investigating. Here's a live traffic update on I-65 on the Kennedy. You can see the right side of your screen, 2 lanes are open and crews are on the left side. You see police in the cones, that side is blocked and people are going very slowly. There's not a lot of, it'll take you a lot longer to get into downtown Louisville. I-65 South remains closed. There are several cameras. You can also look, Trimark has several cameras all over the area where you can see the latest on the traffic conditions. But if you're just joining us now, it started around 10:14 this morning. A semi-truck fell off of I-65 at Hospital Curve. We saw huge flames from right there. We saw that from the Trimark cameras, immediately sent our crews. We saw the semi-truck just dangling and then it caught on fire. Then it fell to the ground. Okay, now we are looking at, this is the view from above. This is drone video from the crash site. You can see fire crews are still there, just putting the fire out. This is the semi-truck that had fallen off the overpass. It's hard to look at, honestly. Seeing from the air, we had views from the ground, but just seeing the devastation of this fire truck, devastation of the semi-truck that crashed into the overpass, caught on fire, then fell to the ground. So still several hot spots. It looks like the fire crews are trying to put this out, and it started at 10:14 this morning. Then the semi-truck eventually fell down, but you can see the fire crews tending to the scene right now, trying to put the fire fully out, and the water that they're putting on it. So many emergency crews are in that area along I-65 as it remains closed, I-65 South. We do not know how many people were in the semi-truck. We're still waiting on that information. We're still waiting on the information about the driver, but when we first saw the scene, the semi-truck was just dangling and then caught on fire. But again, this is a view from above, and you can just see how crews and how many crews, this is just one of the angles, but there are so many crews there trying to put this fire out and investigate. Samantha Condra joins us now. She has the latest. You are near the crash. What are you seeing?
Yeah, Val, we don't have that much more information, but we are seeing this scene unfold. We've been talking about it all morning, but you can see all the firefighters trying to work. We see all kinds of different emergency vehicles, but you've mentioned it all morning, and I think it's possibly the craziest thing from this angle is the char that you can see from the remnants and also the truck trailer. And, as we've been mentioning, it happened at around 10:14 this morning. And if you are going this way on I-65, it is definitely important to take a different way. As we've been mentioning, it's going to be closed for 3 to 4 hours. And as we don't know the condition of the driver, how many drivers were involved, but it's definitely a very scary scene, and firefighters are trying to work as quick as possible. We have kind of a higher up view of the area. We can also see the Kennedy Bridge and all of the traffic that is coming over to Louisville. And so just possibly take a different route if you usually take the Kennedy Bridge, because even though some of the lanes are moving, they're moving very slowly. But we're still here on the scene trying to learn more information, but a very busy and chaotic scene right now. And, we'll continue to keep you live this morning and coming up in the midday newscast. But for now, we'll send it back to you, Val.
Developing story. Thank you, Samantha. Here is video now of the semi and it's falling off of the bridge. The moment this happened, you see the huge flames, the semi falling down, and then here's the traffic that's backed up right now on I-65 on the Kennedy as all lanes remain closed. But let's look at this video again. This is the moment then the semi was teetering off of the overpass and falls down. The huge flames and all of the smoke. We have our crews all over covering this from every angle. Our Marcus Green and Dalton Godby are in Southwest Indiana with the latest. And what did you all see?
Breathtaking video, Val, to say the least. Marcus and I are here in Indiana, just on the other side of the Ohio River. We were working on a different story, doing an interview here on the balcony near the Kennedy Bridge in Jeffersonville. And then, Marcus, we see this plume of smoke. We see fire with flames raging more than a dozen feet, probably, to say the least. And then we see that unfold. Photojournalist Emily Evans caught that video that our viewers just saw when we witnessed the cab of that semi-truck slide off of the overpass and onto the ground. And that's when really the black smoke and tall flames started to rage.
It was just a very harrowing sequence of events. It was around 10:15. I know it's been reported the first call came in around 10:14, or at 10:14, excuse me. 10:15, as we were just looking at the bridge and talking about the Kennedy Bridge, it was evident that something horrific had happened. And again, black smoke, flames. We saw the semi dangling above the overpass there. This, again, around 10:15. Since then, as you can see, the Kennedy Bridge completely stacked up. Traffic is backed up. Almost all the left-hand lanes are backed up. And as we look over at 2nd Street Bridge, traffic is starting to accumulate there. That bridge had been flowing pretty freely until I'd say about 5 minutes ago. About 5 minutes ago is when I first started noticing traffic, southbound traffic especially, coming into Louisville, starting to back up. But again, just a very startling series of events. The flames very high above the roadway, this black smoke very high above the roadway. Again, just to be able to witness this, it was evident right away something very, very horrific had happened. This is one of the worst crashes that I've seen in that part of the interstate. And we have seen some very bad crashes in that section of Spaghetti Junction in the last couple of years.
I imagine for the folks sitting at home watching this coverage unfold.
That's our Marcus Green and Dalton Godby talking about the scene and what they witnessed. Again, this is a aerial view of the damage from that semi-truck that was dangling off of the interstate and fell down. You can see emergency crews are still tending to the scene. Emergency crews are still trying to put some of the hot spots out. I-65 south near Hospital Curve remains closed. All lanes are blocked as crews will be there for several hours. We're told that the interstate will be closed for 3 to 4 hours. So if you are going to this area, make sure you find an alternate route to downtown Louisville if you are planning to take I-65 south. Let's take a look at some more video that we have. This is the moment when the semi-truck that was dangling just fell down off of the overpass and onto the ground. The huge flames, several feet high, and all of this smoke. When we first got to the scene, when our crews got there, the semi-truck was still dangling, and we saw those pictures from Trimark as well. But it's really hard to watch. I mean, this is horrific that a crash like this happened, and people were driving by at the time. You can see a truck just driving by and seeing this all unfold.